All right, guys. New build. It's a Sorc tank. Believe it or not, it's happening. Shout out to Roble. I never thought I'd see the day where I make a Sorc tank, but I did. And here it is. I'll try to be more enthusiastic in this build video because I've been getting a lot of comments on my build videos. They say, "Hey, FENGRUSH, you look like you hate your life when you make build videos. You're not enthusiastic at all." So I'm going to try to keep this one real upbeat for you guys. I actually really enjoy this build. It's a very cool build, and it's something very different than most people have seen. A lot of build videos, it's just straight damage or something like that or whatever. So this is a utility build, okay? This is not your standard tank like, hey, I'm 100% in the defense and I walk around doing this shit in PvP. This is not the point of this build. You can make a guy who is just a fortress on any class to very limited effect on the battlefield, really. You just won't do all that much. This can work in PvE. I don't have PvE footage yet, but I will get it, and I'll explain why it can be good very briefly when I get to skills and such. So I'm going to go through this real quick and start running over some of the equipment here. So we use 5-piece Tavas Favor. This is a cool set. Max health, stam recovery, magic recovery. And then the 5-piece gain ultimate whenever you dodge. So this is for ult gen. Big purpose here. This is I run this 5-piece. I have a light belt. I do 5 heavy for the 5 heavy bonus, but I do 5-1-1. So I put my belt on light mode because that's your weakest armor piece. It's the best place to stuff your light. And then up here, I have my 5th heavy piece is blood spawn. I have a 2-piece blood spawn. They're all in impen. I have a low arm. This one's champion 120, but it's an impen. It's the only one I had in impen, and I really like impen. If you can do max impen, the more impen you can get, the better. Basically, it allows you to spread CP elsewhere in your build and still maintain that high impen. Heavy armor's giving you a lot of armor. Blood spawn gives you the stam recovery, but it gives you the ult gen chance when you take damage. More armor as well. Across the board, I have gold try chance. So I'm really trying to spread and gain, as much as I can on all my pulls here, pretty much. I want max magicka and stam and health. But health is a big one because you have to have good survival. So that's my body pieces. Down in the jewelry section, we have the dragon set. This comes from Trials, comes from Hell Ra. All healthy. It drops in healthy. This is magic recovery, healing taken, max health, and then 15% ult cost reduction. A quick side note, if you can't get dragon, it's not that easy to get. You can get it in purple by doing normal Hell Ra. But if you can't get it or you want to do the build before then, an alternative is to run the Covenant set. It's a 3-piece, or the Dominion, or whatever. It's called something of the Patente set, or whatever. And it'll be sword, shield, and neck, and that's a 3-piece. And then you can do like a 2-piece endurance set for extra health. What you will miss out on that is that extra magic recovery, which is very important. Magic recovery is very key for this build. That's really where this build becomes sort of hybrid-esque, where it's you have a lot of stam stuff going, but the way this is built is heavy magicka recovery. All my enchants, you'll see, they're magicka recovery. I tested this without block enchants. I've tested it with block enchants. I prefer to have the high magicka recovery and not block that much. I block in very short intervals, which you may find very strange for a tank. But if I did PvE tanking, I would probably have another set of jewelry with full block enchants. But this is not PvE. This is for the PvP portion, which we're going to focus on. On the back bar, it doesn't really matter. I have another sword and shield. I happen to have a master's sword here, which is pretty badass. And then I just have a maelstrom shield. I got it from one of my weekly rewards or something. So I just threw that in there. This back bar doesn't really matter. Master sword's great here because I will go through my skills now and show you that. So in the skill section, this is where things get crazy, okay? So here's my main bar. This is where my dragon set is, where my ult's at. This build largely revolves around your negate. So the negate is very important. Okay, the build really revolves around your negate. That's kind of the point of this build. As a utility person, you are looking to really disrupt as much. That's why it's called, this build is called Dragon Disruptor. It reminds me of like, you know, Disruptor from Dota 2. You're just like causing mayhem in a fight and really locking down an area very effectively. So Absorption Field, this one heals you. That's this morph, not the one that does damage. You do not do damage with this build. I should point that out ahead of time. You will not kill anything with this build. This build is not meant to kill stuff. Most tank builds are not meant to. So if you're looking to kill people, this is not the build to do it with. It's kind of silly how ridiculous it is. Your damage is poor. Okay, but that's fine. Your utility is off the charts. That's the point of this build. This is a group build. This is meant to go into groups and have high impact from a utility perspective. So Heroic Slash generates ult. So we already have Tavas, which is generating ult off dodge, which we'll get to. We're using Shuffle on the back bar to proc that dodge nonstop. We have Blood Spawn. Anytime you take damage, that's going to generate ult. You have your Light Attack that's going to generate ult. You want to keep that up. You have Heroic Slash that's going to generate ult. You have to keep that up. And then we have the Dragon set, which is reducing ult cost. We also have the Sorc passive. Where are you? I think it's in the Daedric Summoning Power Stone. Yeah, 15% more reduction here from Power Stone. So we have some serious ult cost reduction. If we didn't want to run Negate, we could run something else. But in this case, we're doing this. We have Streak. So Streak is my stun, pretty much. AoE stun area. Right next to it is Restraining Prison. This is an AoE root. This is like Bombard without the real damage. Still slows people after it fades. So basically, you can streak a crowd, stun them, turn around, root them, and they are forced to CC break, and then they're forced to roll, and they're still slowed. You force 2 CCs constantly. This is your heavy utility portion. You're going to combo these things with your negate. So when you run up on a pile of people that are here, you're going to root across them, immediately drop the negate on them, and then streak through them. Now they're sitting in a silence with root, so they have to go and they have to CC break. They're still silenced. Now they have to roll dodge, and if it's a well-placed negate, they may still be in it after that roll dodge. But the point is to lay down that ult combo and then have your people strike them. You know, so these groups that pile up, that's what you're meant to counter. So that's the front end of your utility right here. You have Absorb Magicka here. This is actually a really effective heal. It also reduces block cost, but you don't block very much. You block very specific things in very short bursts because you don't have much block cost reduction. You have Dark Deal here, which couples as a heal, but really it's your stam replenishment. Okay, let me show you. Your stam pool is pretty low with this build. I mean, watch how quick I can restore my stamina, though, with this Dark Deal. Okay, you see that? And look at my Magicka recovery. I can Dark Deal for days with this stuff, and that's the point. I'm also using my mana to streak. I'm using my mana to encase, and I have Vamp Drain as well I'm using it for. But pretty much you can do a lot of encasing, Dark Dealing, and streaking. And they're your main functions, okay? And then we have Absorption Field. Back bar. We have Pierce Armor. This lowers resistance on both physical and spell. So this is just a double direction debuff. So when you have targets that really need to be focused down in a fight, like you see a healer, you can call it out and hit him with the Pierce. Okay? That's a debuff. And even if you're not calling it out, you can pierce somebody, go to someone else, pierce him, pierce somebody else. But this should be used to focus targets. Because a lot of times you don't want to be running around piercing armor. What you want to be focusing on in the fight, let me finish the skills and I'll tell you that. Shuffle, you want to keep this up. Evasion, snare immunity, you can break off your snares with this. Shuffle is shuffle. Great skill. Hurricane. So we're using Hurricane in this build, not Boundless Storm. Hurricane will help you, gives you the armor and everything, but You want to use what you can in your stam department because your stam's so easy to replenish with this build using Dark Deal. And you can Dark Deal for days. So we're going with the Hurricane option. We also can proc Hurricane from Storm Calling, Implosion. So physical damage you have, I mean, both of them have a chance to proc. It really doesn't matter, but this will proc things, and this is based off your max health, Implosion. So it actually hits really hard. So if you hit anybody and this procs, they'll instantly die 100% of the time. This thing hits for over 20k on people. So we have that. Then we have Invigorating Drain. This is our last ult builder. And this is why I'm saying you don't want to run around just pierce arming people in fights. Invigorating Drain gives you 5 ultimate per second while it's going. So again, to reiterate, you have Heroic Slash running for 9 seconds. You want to refresh this at least every 9 seconds. You have your Light Attack, which you want to refresh as well in conjunction with that, which is pretty easy. You just weave that in between anytime you're doing Heroic. You have Tavas proccing every 3 seconds with Evasion up. You have Bloodspawn proccing, which is really going to be based, you know, the chance is higher the more damage you're taking. That's why you want to be in the middle of the shit with this build, which is where your survival factors in. This keeps you in the shit and allows you to do that. And then we have Vigor lastly, which you're going to run for heal. Now, Vigor and, like, if you're really taking fire, generally what we need to do is block for a sec, get that up. Usually you want to try to line of sight, get around a corner, but if you have range on you, use this thing to heal you. Absorb Magic is really nice. It's very cheap, and it heals you for a percent of your max health, which you have a lot of. And this will heal you pretty effectively. And once you're able to, like, get in a safe zone, Dark Deal is not a burst heal. It takes a second to go off. So that's why you want to sometimes block real quick, put up Vigor, put up Absorb Magicka, and get some Dark Deals in. But this build has some mobility as a tank, so you want to, like, get around corners, you know, real quick, Vigor, Dark Deal up, be like, all right, I'm good to go. Turn around, root, streak through them, fuck with people, generate ult, get another negate up. Your negate also heals for a lot. So if you get your negate down, it's lasting 12 seconds. Before modifiers, before crit, it's doing about 1,000 every 0.5 seconds, so that's 24k potential healing that you can get under your negate. So, like, if you have a bunch of people on you and you want to last for a while, generally what I do is I get around a tree and, like, I'll root people while I'm generating the ult, healing up, and then I'll drop a negate on this thing and I'll just, like, run around inside the negate. And it's very hard to die inside that negate. So those are your main bars. The back bar is kind of a fluff bar, and until you're really good at this build, I wouldn't even try to use this back bar. But this back bar is good when you're relocating / you're on defense. Like, hey, the enemy's pushing through this choke point. Get ready. Okay, I'm going to lay down Caltrops. I'm going to put up Crit Surge, which is another healing mechanism I can use in the fight. I'm going to drop, like, mines. And sometimes I put down rearming, though I may put rearming out of this build just because it's tough to do all that at once. But these are just, like, extra things. This is not, and none of it's meant for the damage. It's meant for the slow from Caltrops, and these are just extra roots. So if the enemy's coming in, I'll pop them with a root, and they're going to roll dodge out of that root, hit another mine, roll dodge out of that, hit another, like, that's the point. You're trying to just jam-pack this build with utility to mess with people. So there's your skills. Champion points we're going to review real quick.
You son of a bitch.
This is different, again, as a utility build. Blue Tree, I don't care about damage at all. Nothing for damage. So I got 100 in Bless, I got 77 in Elfborn, and I don't care about any of this other stuff. This is all offensive, and I have no business taking any of it. Over here, I have very light amount in Crit Resist, and I spread more evenly over here on, like, Thick Skin, Hardy, and Elemental. I have a pretty decent amount here. I don't actually block a lot, so I have high impen based off my armor. I have good armor based off wearing heavy. And then I just have, like, good general resistance here. And I still have 10 in Bastion, which is healing received. Or no, I'm sorry. Bastion, this is for my shield, which I dropped my shield. Maybe I should. I used to have Bone Wall in here, which is where I might put Bone Wall back in place of rearming Trap. I've been switching the bars as I go through this build, but this was meant to be here. So ignore that. Quick recovery, 10. There we go. Boom. Quick recovery. Okay, over here, Magician. We have some Magicka cost reduction, some Warlord cost reduction. Not a lot, because you don't get a huge amount. You actually want a lot in here in Magicka recovery. I'll show you my stats in a minute, how this all pans out. And then a good chunk in tumbling, which I didn't have before I started this video, and a little in cost to block, just because you do block a little bit sometimes. If you block a lot with this build, you'll run your stam out really quick, and then you can't CC break. You'll have to learn not to do that. You have to learn to heal by using the combo I said: Vigor, Absorb, Dark Deal, Line of Sighting. Those are very key. So there is that. How this build actually plays, I suggest kind of watching some of my videos, and I posted videos specifically on this build so you can see how it functions, because it's not your classic build. It really isn't. I run Tri-Food with this build, so boosts all my stats. Generally, the pots I like to use are these ones. I just don't have any right now, but it gives me health, stamina in a pinch, and knockback immunity. I can use all pots on this, though. I even use these ones, the expedition ones, to chase people down or just to like charge into the fight sometimes. Not your most ideal, but not bad. These ones are not bad if you're just stuck in a long fight. Lingering health is pretty good. This gives you some health and increases your healing taken, so that's not a bad one. Even tripods wouldn't be bad. You could really get away with using any of those combinations, because tripods are going to heal everything, and you can convert the mana into stamina and health. So, I mean, you're pretty good there. But anyway, stats pan out up to about 45k health, 16k magicka, about 18.5 on stamina. Your stamina will burn quickly. You're going to learn that you burn your stamina out more quickly than you'd like if you try to play very defensive. When you get comfortable with this build, you're going to be pressuring people and just ripping through shit, and dark dealing your stam a lot. You're going to be dark dealing so much. You're going to be like, wow, I can dark deal all day. Yeah, do it. Keep your stam maxed out as much as possible. Keep that shield up, keep vigor up, and keep your evasion up. And just harass people. Once people get on you, you basically, just kind of hover up and go defensive. And they're like, wow, I'm wasting my time on you, because they are. They're not going to get much done hitting you. So you have enough to survive a decent amount of pressure. And once you draw attention on you, it gives your group time to go in and do stuff. So I think that covers the base stuff. I want to show you some clips and just talk about how it actually plays, because it's, again, not a straightforward build, and that's very important to see how this actually plays. So let me make me a little bigger here to cover me. Otherwise, it's going to look silly, because I want to talk and kind of narrate over what's going on in some of these fights. I'm going to play I cut a bunch of clips from fights that I did yesterday, and I will just kind of narrate what's going on here. We're grouping up to do a push.
Point now.
So here,
Beyond this to the back room, I stunned them.
So we're grouping them here. I'm going to drop a negate here, obviously. There's the streak. We're going to do a combo here.
Negating it now. Pound it now. Now.
Drop the
So
negate.
hard.
There's the streak. Turn around. There's a root going out. Okay.
Quick drain after.
We didn't get a good Dawnbreaker combo there, but they're stuck. They're literally stuck and not healing right now.
There we go.
There's a Dawnbreaker. Just cleaned them out. Like, your job is to contain people and keep them jammed up, but rotate all those buffs. The heroic, the light attack need to be weaved. Like right now, I'm not doing vamp draining because I'm actually heavily harassing with the streak and with the root. And the other guys are damage dealers. So that's what I'm focusing on there. But look at my stam. There it goes. Like, watch these fights particularly on how I manage my resources, or sometimes how I don't effectively manage them, because, I slip up on this build too. It's kind of new for me. But let me jump ahead. Yeah, here's another burst where we finish them up. I drop a negate on this guy because there's some healers here. The healers had reactive. I said, fuck it. I'll just drop a negate. We took them out. Here's a pile here. I shout they're coming, so I do a quick streak to hold them up. I see there's light targets down there. I remember this. I call out the light targets.
Right at me, there's 5 light people.
I root them all. Here you
All the way at
come.
the bottom of the steps.
Done. I mean, so I'm pretty much setting things up, but main control. Like, this meta has a lot of groups doing a lot of Templars, and that's why this build is actually pretty effective in that respect. It's really good right now with the amount of Templars going on. let's check out another one real quick. So what do we got going on here? Oh right, this is at Alice Hall. Just going here, kind of poking at people, aggroing them. I want to aggro their force to come at us, which we do. We get their attention. I tell them to back up. I go in and I streak to give my team time to back up. I back up. I dark deal a little here. Get ready. There's the negate. There's the root. Block the meteor. My health's like all good. We killed those guys. These guys push out on us. We kind of need to, we kind of get hit from all sides here. So I just call us to back up, get them on one front to repeat the process again. Building the ult at a pretty good pace here. I go overload bar right here. I drop caltrops. I put down a trap. I threw mines, switch back, ults up, drop the ult. Rooted them, streak through them. They're all just stuck. They're just chilling. See how they didn't even die yet? Like a proper burst would have killed those guys immediately. They didn't die right away. But just because they're so locked down, it even gives you time to burst when your burst isn't even on point. And that's pretty awesome. I think we go to Bleakers here and we charge in. Yeah, this is another good demonstration of being like the tank at the front. You know, that's kind of what you are. So I'm like a bit, there's my group. You can see how far back they are a bit because honestly, I'm still an orc. I'm still have minor expedition. I still end up sprinting a lot because I can just bring my stamina back really quickly. So there's you can see my stam bar is kind of like half right now. I just filled it up. I'm going in. I said, you know, there's a lot here. Move in. And I just line of sight on this pole a little bit. I'm waiting till my team's here. They said they're here. I negate, I streak, I turn, I root. I'm going to streak I should streak to the back and root back there too. Control the whole fight.
Bitch.
There's a streak to the back. Probably another root. There's the root. There you go. There's people dying. Like you see like what I hold up dies. The other interesting thing about negate is it sets targets off bounce, believe it or not, which when you fight with people with dual wield, and they have the CP passives, there's amped damage even in that too. So it's functionally very strong on that respect there. There's another fight, cut. So we smash Ash in, front door. This was a quick front door push. We hit this place as quick as we could. AD was coming. We knew they were coming, but we were trying to do as much as we could. Drop a negate there. You can see how quickly I build a new negate. Just to help clear the guards quicker, safer. There was some people in here at the start, but there's Arnold up top just mowing people down. Beautiful. So here, let me just...
Trying to build a negate real quick.
I'll let the other me narrate this one. You can just hear it. There's Issa. Issa's spot. Yeah, here comes like a big group of them. Again, I just move out.
Back up, come around the corner.
I'm buying time. I streak through them just to buy time, just to group them up, get them grouped.
Patient. Go now. Hit it, everything.
So here's the negate. There's your streak. There's your encase.
Green.
It's a graveyard.
God help me.
There I am healing up with Dark Deal. Just Dark Dealing up hard right now. Getting hit with Siege and all sorts of shit. Filled up my stam and health. You see my mana regen, how quickly it's coming back? Huge sustain on this build.
They're rising. Don't let them res.
It's the other thing. I go in, I can bash people, keep people from resin.
They just ignoring res. You fucking Zerg cunts.
There you go.
Push. Now. Hit it, everything. Back room.
Another negate, another wave of them, another group dead. I mean...
Yep.
It's very good at fighting like this, like
They don't have a camp
grouping
yet.
and smashing.
Second wave. Try to
That's
build and hold
that's the point of this build. You just frontline control, and if people actually focus you, I mean, they're really wasting their time on you.
The other one that on me.
Let's see if I have like another clearing bleakers. All right, here we go. And we'll do this last one. Just again, there will be more videos if you want to see more on this build. Recommend checking it out there, like some clips, and if not, you know, you can see it on stream as well.
Somebody don't break me.
Here's just a pile of people on the port. We just knocked the front door down.
Yes.
Same thing. Usually I'll
Up
push
here, or
push around the corner, rally the group, force the enemy to kind of
Gotta get
funnel in,
fucking siege. We gotta move forward
and
now.
negate in
Back
tight
room.
areas. Because the negate,
Yeah, come to the back room. I'm
again,
just
it also heals too.
everything.
Like I just dropped it early there to heal myself. I was real low health, and then I heal up.
Rooting the side
But it
door.
controls his back room.
You son of a
There's the
bitch.
streak. There's the root. See the guys chilling, getting dawn broken, all dead.
Damn.
It's just constant control on the field,
Yeah,
really.
Clear the back.
So here's a pile of people.
Streaking, rooting now.
Streak, root. Look at it. Just all locked up. Almost another negate up. Negate's not really needed here. You can just hold it. Hold it until the next crowd comes of people or healers.
Is that enemy?
The enemy negated.
Countering negate, countered.
Counter negate it. Turn
Yeah,
their
side door,
advantage
side
against
door,
them.
ton. By the siege.
Here's a pile.
Drop
Just
everything.
see the encases going out. The streaks. It's just such heavy harassment. So that's pretty much
Back
it.
flag again. Back flag. Hit it with everything.
I mean, it's really good at what it does. I mean, it's just a controlling monster. And in PvE, I will do stuff like the way it's set up. You don't want to use it for like end game trial stuff, but any dungeon you can do it effectively. You just don't have chain pull, which is useful in some dungeons when you're going for speed routes. But again, this negate will amp damage as well. It sets even bosses. It disorients them. It sets them off bounce and it amps everybody's damage against the boss. So it's not only like a good heal, it's a damage amp as well, the way it works right now. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I nailed all the points on it.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. I almost forgot. Atronarch, increased magic or recovery. Make sure you use that. That's, oh yeah, and my attribute points are all in the health. Should have mentioned that too. Sorry, I'm trying to do this build video in turbo speed because I have a trial to do and I need to go respec. So I think that's pretty much it. If I missed anything, let me know. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. Be happy to answer them. This build is cool. I will have more builds like this. I will do some more for other classes. I've created similar stuff. I just really enjoyed the Sorc one, and I had a Sorc so I could do this one first. I may do Templar next, but I've thought of stuff for Dragon Knight and Nightblade. They all have their own unique element of utility for group play. So, so yeah, it's a fun build. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope, even if you don't use it, that it gives you some good ideas for something you could do. So, until next time, guys, go get them with the Disruptor. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you.